because they are joining me, the content which we are going to discuss today will be a repeated one. So if you have already joined the class previously, so you can drop, because today you will not find anything new here. Okay, so we will be starting.
Hello?
Yeah,
Hello,
I
sir.
just attended the last week demo session. That's it.
Yeah. So if you have just attended the demo and today is your first regular session, then that will be a meaningful session for you and you will be able to see the basics. Okay. But if you have already attended the previous session, then it will not be of much use to you. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to talk about the process of DevOps. Okay, why do we need DevOps? What DevOps can do for me? All those things is what we are going to talk. In 1 minute, I've stopped the sharing. Give me 1 minute. Okay, so considering that you have attended the demo session, you will be knowing who am I. My name is Vikas and I will be your trainer for this entire session. Now, what we are going to do is we are going to talk about the prerequisites, what you will have or you will require for attending the classes. Now, we will be talking about Terraform here. When we talk about Terraform, Terraform is an integral part of your DevOps lifecycle. Now, you know that when I talk about DevOps, it's a combination of development plus operations. Because when I start my SDLC, software development lifecycle, I have a lot of activities to do. And these activities must be planned and put together in a systematic way. Because we are not doing a college project, we are doing a project where we will be having a lot of components, lot of tools. So we should follow a methodology. When we start our work, we start with, or when we started our work, we started with waterfall model. But in waterfall model, the biggest concern or the biggest problem which is there is that it needs a lot of time. It says that all the prerequisites should be met and then only you will be able to start your work. Likewise, you will go to the client, you will take the requirement from the client, then you will come up with a design, you will come up with the coding, then testing, then coding, testing, and then deployment. So this is a time-consuming process. But today in the world of IT, every company wants to operate and operate fast. Like if I say that I want to develop a software, or let me say you are a guy who is into some kind of a business, you are into a e-commerce business. So you will want a website which can make the changes, implement the changes very fast. So I need the power of DevOps. But if I go with waterfall model, I am building monolithic application. Now the question is, what is a monolithic application? So I will simply come here and say monolithic versus this thing. Now, when we started our IT industry, the work which we used to do was to be something like this. The work which we used to do used to be something like this. We had one single server, one big piece of server, and on top of that, we used to install everything. Let me say, I am having a travel agency. I am having a travel application where people can come and book cabs. Now, what I do is I have put everything on a server, on one single server. That's a big server, a costly one, but still a big server. So what we are seeing here is that at the end of the day, buying the server is not the only thing which I have to do. I have to maintain the server. Okay. Now, when it comes to buying the server, the problem is that I have to invest a good amount of money. But even if I invest a good amount of money, at the end of the day, I have to do maintenance of that. And that's why we go to cloud. Even if you go to cloud, we are not building any monolithic application, means on one single software, I'm putting everything. The problem behind that is that if you see this setup, I have 4 or 5 applications which are running here. Like there is a notification service, there is a payment service, uh, there is a channel where the user can go ahead and book a cab for himself. There is a driver management system. There is a billing service, geolocation service. So considering all these things, I cannot put all of them into one single server. If I put them in one single server, the problem is if one application is down, I will have to bring down everything and then bring it up. Now, when I bring it down, bring it up, it may take some time to fix the issue. Okay, let me say 4 hours. 4 hours is a good amount of time. And in these 4 hours, I may lose a good amount of business. So companies always want that their applications should be up and running for 24 hours. Earlier, companies had that downtime. They will shut down in the night. They will do maintenance or any kind of server upgradation at the night time. But nowadays there's no such scope available for that. So we cannot rely on waterfall model. Rather, we need to come up where I can create a microservice based architecture. So when I say microservice based architecture, I am interested in these things. Okay, so you can see here, each software is independent, like billing is running independently, payment is running independently, notification is running independently, trip is running independently, driver web UI, passenger web UI. So all these are running independently. They are loosely coupled, or each single application can run as a microservice. Okay, so if I am dealing with this kind of a setup, one second. If I'm dealing with this kind of a setup, waterfall model, I cannot go with microservice based architecture. I have to go with monolithic architecture. I will have to deal with physical servers and in-house data center. And it's a time consuming process. So we do not want this kind of a setup. So what's the solution? We went ahead and we told we will be implementing Agile. When we say Agile, the same monolithic application is now broken into small pieces. Like if the activity was to take 2 months, what I do is I go to the client and say, can you split it into 8 small pieces or 8 small sprints? In each sprint, I will do a task and then I will give it to you. So it is an iterative way of developing the code. So in Agile, you develop the code, but in an iterative way. You use decoupled application, you use virtual machines, you use hosted environment, but still the time consumed is on a higher side. Yes, you are able to give something to the client in a very small interval of time, and small pieces you keep releasing. The benefit is the client is interested, but still the time to market is a big no. So what we do is we go ahead and talk about how to fix this problem. So to fix this problem, we talk about DevOps. DevOps can solve one more problem which I have. Now, if you are working as a developer, you will know what development is, how to develop a code, how to write a code, how to make security updates, how to fix the bug, add new feature. So all these things you will be aware and you can fix these problems. But the moment it comes to operations, you will not be aware what is a server scaling, how to bring the uptime of a server, how to take the backup of a server. This some operations guy will be aware of. Now, when you move your code from dev to ops, the biggest problem may be that it is not working here. If it is not working here, you are super confused. You say, hey, I don't know what happened. It is working in my laptop, but I don't know what happened and why it is not working on the other machine. And there is where the problem comes. This operations guy blame you and you blame the operation guy. So at the end, both of you are fighting. Both of you start the blame game. At the end, who is the one who is suffering? It is my client who is suffering. So what DevOps says is, hey, hold on, let's break this wall of confusion and bring DevOps. When we talk about DevOps, I am asking you to change your mindset, coordinate and work together so that we can go ahead and deliver our product. Now, you might be aware of this guy. So you might be aware of this guy. So he is the executive chairman of Amazon. Now, once somebody asked this guy that, what is DevOps for you? So DevOps, he told that you developed it, you deploy it. 1 second. So he told you developed it, you deploy it. Means you take end-to-end responsibility. Generally, in an IT company, you will have a solution architect who will talk to the client and prepare the design. You will have developers. You will have testers. You will have networking and security people. You will have storage admins. You will have database admins. You will have a monitoring team. And you may have production support engineers. Okay. Now, there are so many teams involved in a single software development, and a developer hardly knows what a DBA is doing. A monitoring team is hardly aware what a tester is doing. A prod support guy is hardly aware what the storage team is doing. So there is a huge lack of communication between these channels. So what we are planning is we want to bring a guy or a team of DevOps engineers. A DevOps engineer is a person, or it's a person or a team who is a mix of everything. Means he knows little bit of everything. It's not that he should be expert. He should start writing a Python code. He should start writing a Java code, but at least he should be aware how things work. He should be aware of little bit of testing, little bit of development, little bit of performance analysis. So he should know the things so that he is a kind of all-rounder. He is aware what has to be done. So there is a small knowledge of development required, small knowledge of delivery required, small knowledge of operations required. In that, I add security. So he should be aware of these things and he can be a very good DevOps engineer. When we talk about DevOps engineer, you should know any one programming language: Bash, Shell, Perl, Java, Python. In this module, we will be learning YAML scripting. You should know how the system works, means how the operating system works and all those things. You should know cloud, because at the end of the day, we will be implementing everything on cloud. And once you know cloud, we will teach you how to implement it at EKS and CI/CD level. So these are the basic prerequisites which are required from your end. Now, how is this thing going to help you? So if you learn a tool like Terraform, how is it going to help you? Now, Terraform is a tool which brings a concept of IAC, infrastructure as a code. Now, what is this infrastructure as a code? I've never heard about it. Now, let me give you a very brief example of this. Now, let me say I am a company who's selling shoes. And I'm selling shoes. And I had a store. In the store, customers will come and they will buy the shoes. Now, the customers are saying, do you have a website? Do you have a mobile app? So that customers can order online. When the customers have to order online, I have to get a web server, DB server, and many such servers like this. I need to hire people who can do maintenance and they can install software. So hardware plus software. So I will say hardware maintenance, and software installation. EALLA software institution. Okay. Now, this is what I need. I need a web server, a database server, so that, and that can happen if I have hardware. So in-house hardware or local hardware is what I'm talking about, and your software. But now your business is growing. So you cannot, or you can't invest on hardware. So what you do, you move to cloud. It's not only that investment thing, but there are other benefits also. Let me show you one benefit which you can see. Now, assume there is a situation in your company on a normal day, you need 10 servers. Okay. And you are able to serve 100 customers. Okay. And you run day and night, both day and night. Night, though you don't need 10 servers, still you are running them. So what you do is you go to cloud. Now you say in day, I need 10 servers. And in the night, I need only 2 servers. So if this is running 24/7, so let me say 10 servers into 24 into, let me say per hour, the cost is, let me say $10. So I'm paying something like $2400. But here for 12 hours, I will run 10 servers. Okay. And in the night time, approximately I'm putting it as 10 hours. I'm only running 2 servers. So 2 into, wait, it should be 2 into 12 into 10. Now, if you do a simple calculation, it is 12 into 12 is 144. It is 144 0 plus 240. Okay. If I do the calculation correctly, 801680. So if you see here that if I move to cloud, I'm saving good amount of money. Almost 25% I'm able to save, almost 25% reduction. Right? Earlier I was spending 2,400. Now I'm only spending 16,080. Now I will migrate to cloud because I see the benefits in migrating to cloud. Now, this is a normal scenario. Now, how is IAC coming into picture? Now, let me say I do a big billion day sale kind of thing. Big billion day sale. So here I'm expecting 100 servers because the customer count can be somewhere around this much. Now, let me say this big billion day sale will last for 3 days. Now, if I am a normal IT company, I have not migrated to cloud. What I will do, I have 10 servers. I have to buy those additional 90 servers. Now, I have bought it. It took 3 months for me to install the software. I installed it. And I'm running it. Okay, big billion day sale is success. I somehow made money out of that. What happens after this 3 days? What will you do with this 90 servers? Will you still keep it up and running? Will you shut down and keep it? Will you format everything and keep it? Now, this is the problem. So when you run a company, you need hardware and you need software. This hardware thing is something which you can get from cloud. You can go for pay-as-you-go model and you deal with what you want. You take only what you want and use only what you want. But how about the software installation? The cloud environment is going to give you that hardware, but who will install that software? And more importantly, it has to be done only for 3 days. And after 3 months, I have to do it again. 3 months, I have to do it again. So I did it, let me say in December. Next time I have to do it in March. Then I have to do it in October. So like this, I have to make changes as per my requirement. So every time I cannot buy servers and spend 3 months to get everything up and running. So a solution to this problem is IAC and IAC on cloud. So cloud will give you the infrastructure and the IAC will give you the software. When I talk about cloud, I will mainly be talking about GCP, Azure, and AWS. In this particular course, I will be concentrating on AWS. We will touch upon GCP and Azure, but most of the things will be done on AWS. The same piece of code can be tweaked, changed, and you can get the stuff for this also. When you talk about IAC, there are many tools available in the market. Like if you're using AWS, you have CFMT or CloudFormation. You have Terraform. Ansible also to a certain extent. But in this training, I will be majorly concentrating on Terraform, and here I'll be concentrating on AWS. Now, when you say that I will be dealing with AWS, I will be dealing with Terraform. So there should be a reason behind that. Why are you picking up AWS? Why are you not picking Azure? You know, in my team, people are working in Azure. So a very simple reason for that is that if you go ahead and check AWS or cloud market share, who is where? So cloud, I will say public cloud market share images. If you go by this only, you can see here that AWS is the market leader, okay, and it has the most number of users in this entire world. So you can see here that AWS is 34%, Azure is catching up, it has 21%, GCP is 11%, and you have these things here. So I have picked AWS. Now, as I told you, whatever you do in AWS, it can be modified and used on other cloud providers like Azure, GCP, Alibaba Cloud, IBM Cloud, wherever you want, you can use it. Now, why did you pick Terraform? So if you want to learn about Terraform or you want to know about Terraform, you should come here and say Terraform. Simply say Terraform. So if you come to Terraform, the very first thing which it talks about is it is open source. Means it is free of cost. You don't have to go ahead and do anything with any cost with Terraform. It is a IAC tool, infrastructure as a tool, infrastructure as a code tool. And this is owned by a company called HashiCorp. And it has a declarative language, which is like YAML, okay? But they have named it as HashiCorp language or HCL. The another good thing about Terraform is if you go to provider, so provider is nothing but the environment where it will run. So you will see Terraform is compatible with everything. It is compatible with AWS, Azure, GCP, Kubernetes, Alibaba Cloud, Oracle Cloud. Like this, you have around 2,678 varieties or providers where it can be integrated. Somebody told, sir, I'm working with Cisco. Can it be integrated there? Yes. You can do any kind of integration with Terraform. The commands and all will remain almost same. Little bit deviation will be there. Then if I come and say that, what do I need to install Terraform? Do I need a different kind of machine or anything like that? So the answer is no. To work with Terraform, you just need a simple machine and it will work. Terraform can be installed manually, can be installed on your Mac system, can be installed on Windows, and can be installed on Linux. When I talk about Linux, Ubuntu Debian, CentOS, Fedora, Amazon Linux. So it is compatible with almost all the varieties of software. This makes it very, very effective, easy, and very, very easy to understand. Now, if I have to start my work, I will come here and say Terraform cheat sheet. Now, if you open this Terraform cheat sheet, you will see there are hardly some 20 commands which you need to know. It's not like there are 500 commands or 2000 commands, not like that. If you learn Unix or you are learning Linux, you will have to learn so many things. But if you want to learn Terraform, there are hardly some 10 to 20 commands which you need to practice, and your life will become very smooth, very easy. Okay. So Terraform has a limited set of commands and it is very easy. Trust me, it is very easy. If you learn these many commands, I think your 50% of the work is done. You should know what is the command, where to use. If you know that, 50% of the work is done. Another 50% is to write the code and run the code. So the good thing is you can write Terraform code and you can store it in your GitHub. Tomorrow, a friend of yours says that, you were running some EC2 instances and some softwares inside that. Can you give me that code? I want to run it in my environment. You just pass on the code and he can run on his environment. So our infrastructure, which earlier used to take 10 days, 20 days, can now be done in 5 to 10 minutes. So Terraform can drastically reduce your manual effort. So in Terraform, there are two things which I'll be heavily concentrating on. One is Terraform provider and the various commands which we have. So the first thing is you will install Terraform. The moment you install Terraform, you get the actual software, which is Terraform core. And using that, you can simply run your stuff. You say init. So the provider will be initialized. You say plan. So it will give you a dry run kind of thing. It will tell you what has to be done. Then you say apply. It will actually get executed. And then you say destroy. It will be destroyed. So Terraform is easy. It is very easy. The only thing is right time, right code is what you have to pick up, and right command is what you have to execute. So as I told you that most of the content will be on AWS, I am going to create an AWS account. If you have an AWS account, very good. You can keep using that same AWS account. But in case you do not have an AWS account, I would request you to create an AWS account. So to create that account, you can come here and say AWS free account. It will take you to a URL, which will be something like this: free cloud computing service on AWS. Just click here and create an account on AWS. I'm expecting that you already have it, but in case you do not have, click on this create account and create one account. Here you will see that there are many services which are free of cost. There are free on a trial basis. There are free for lifetime. But every service which you use, it comes with a upper cap. Like if you go to a shopping mall, they say 90% off and they put a star mark, terms and conditions applied, something like that. If you see compute, one second, if you see compute, you see it is 750 hours. If you see storage, it is 5 GB of storage. So like this, every component here is capped, or you cannot go beyond that. If you go beyond that, they will charge you. So the first thing what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here and I'm going to create my AWS account. Now, I already have an AWS account. That's why I cannot go ahead and create it again, but I'll walk you through the steps. Like the first thing it is saying is you need to have a user email address. It should be root. So root is a user who has administrative access. He has features of deleting the account, creating the account. So in short, he is the all in all, he's the admin of this account. Okay, so I have a document here which I'll be using, and I will show you how to use that document. Give me 1 minute. This document will be shared with you, and you can use this document. Wait, account. Wait, account. So this is what we are going to do. So this is first step. So basically there will be 5 steps here. Okay. Step number 1 will be, you will have to provide your email ID and password. Step number 2 is you have to provide your address. Step number 3, credit card or debit card detail. Step number 4, you have to apply your phone number. And step number 5, you have to choose a support plan. So these are the 5 steps which you need to do step by step. Let's start with the first one. The first one says that sign up for AWS account. So this is what you have to do. You have to tell who is your root user. Give any email ID or anything which you have. Give a name of your choice. Give a name of your choice. Any name is okay. Give a captcha and say, verify my email ID. Now, when you go to your email ID, you will get a verification code, which will be something like this. So this is the email verification code, which you will get with the verification code. Come here and put this code here. The moment this is done, you will come here and it will say that your email ID has been successfully verified. Please go ahead and show me or please provide your root username password. So you can give your password and say step 1 is complete, continue. Step number 2 is where it will ask you for your contact information. It will ask you whether you are creating this account for a business purpose or you are creating it for personal usage. So I will say I'm creating it for personal usage. I'll provide my name, my mobile number, my country, my address, and at the end I will say I have read everything and I agree to the terms and conditions. Step number 2 is done. Step number 3 is the place where it will ask me for my credit card details. Here I will go ahead and say that this is my credit card number. Now, remember one thing, you need to have a Visa, Master, or an Amex card. So if you have any other card, then it will not work. So either of the 3 is what it is expecting, a Visa, Amex, or a MasterCard. What it will do is it will take all the details from you, like your expiration, your card holder name, and it will deduct $1, which says that we will be temporarily deducting this $1. And then after 3 to 5 working days, we will refund it back to you. So that amount of money will be refunded back. Then go ahead and say that, do you have a PAN card? I will say, no, I don't have a PAN card. You simply say no and move ahead. Then, because I'm in India, it deducted 2 rupees from my account. Internet banking and all those things are not available. Only and only debit card or credit card facility is available. It will deduct 2 rupees because I was in India, 2 rupees, and the work is done. Now comes the 4th step where it says you need to confirm your identity. Give me your mobile number. So I provided my mobile number and it sent me a text message. I went ahead and provided that OTP, one-time authentication password. Step number 4 is done. Now you go ahead and choose the last step where it says, what kind of support plan are you looking at? Are you looking at the basic or the free support plan, or you're looking for the paid ones? Now in paid one, there are varieties like developer support for $29 per month, business support for $100 per month, and enterprise support for $15,000 per month. So you decide which one is suitable for you and you take. But I will recommend that go with the basic or the free plan. Once everything is done, you get a congratulation message and it gives you a link which will take you to the console. But before going there, do one thing, go back to your email ID and check whether you have received an email, something like this or not. Your account is ready and you can get started. Once you have received such kind of an email, click on that and it will take you to a screen which will be something like this. Welcome to AWS. Now, if you see here, there is a survey. It is saying that, can you tell me why, what are you trying to do here? So you can say, I'm a solution architect, I'm a DevOps engineer, and I'm trying to learn whatever you want to, you can give. It is just for a survey purpose. Then once this part is also done, it gives you a thank you. And this is your AWS console where you will be doing all your work. So I assume that you either have the account or you will create it by tomorrow. Once you have the account, you will come here and you will log in. When you log in, you will first see a screen like this. We'll say, welcome to AWS and all those things. Now here, I have a lot of things. I can do a lot of things here. Like if I go to service, I can use AR, VR, blockchain, compute, container, database. I have IoT, game development. So there are many things. But for me, I am interested in compute power, because I need to install Terraform. It's not like Terraform I cannot install on my local, but I want to do everything at cloud environment, and hence I am going ahead with Terraform, and that is on my that place. So I will come here and say I would go with compute power. Okay, this is EC2, a virtual server on cloud, and I want to go with this. So this is how it will look like for you. When you start, everything will be 0, 0, 0, except this guy, security group. But for me, it is showing not 0 because I have created a lot of things in the background. Now, here it will show your name. Here it will show your region. Now, what is a region? So if you talk about AWS global infrastructure, this is how AWS global infrastructure looks like. Or you can go to the latest one, because there is a new region which has come up in India. So I want to show you that. So it says there are 30 different geographic locations where the service is available. Okay. And this is one. So you can see it is there in Middle East. It is there in Europe. It is there in South America, North America. It is there in India. So earlier only Mumbai was there. Now you also have Hyderabad. Then you have Thailand, Hong Kong, China, all these things are there. So it is up to you which one you want to choose. But if you're working for a client, the client will tell you, okay, work from Sydney, work from US, the client will tell you. But in my example, I can simply come here and say AWS latency test. And you can go ahead and take any latency test. So latency test is nothing but how much time it will take for you to get the response from the server. So again, it is distance, right? Me sitting in India, I will get a lower latency from somewhere from Mumbai or Hyderabad. But if I go to Sao Paulo or if I go to North Virginia, it will take more time for me. So it says, if you go to North Virginia, it will take 258 milliseconds. Whereas if you connect to somewhere in Mumbai, it is just taking 26 milliseconds. So you can see that the latency is very limited when I work from Mumbai. So I will choose Mumbai here, and you can simply come here and say, click on this, say Mumbai. If you want North Virginia, click on North Virginia. There are few services which are global. There are few services which are local. So North Virginia means whatever you're running, it is running only in North Virginia. Now I want to go to Mumbai. Now, what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to create a EC2 instance here, a virtual machine on cloud environment. So as of now, it is saying there is no such instance running. So you can come here and say launch an instance. Now, launching an instance is like creating a brand new machine. You go to market and you say, I need this, I need this, I need this. So you configure your virtual machine as per your requirement. So what all you are going to do? You are going to give a name. So I will say, give any name. I will say Amazon Linux server. Okay. Then what is next? Next is, it is talking about operating system. What kind of operating system are you looking at? So here, it will give you a lot of options. Amazon Linux, Mac OS, Ubuntu, Windows, Red Hat, SUSE, Debian. There will be a big list. But I am interested in something which is free of cost. So I go with Amazon Linux, and you will see it is free of cost, free tier eligible. But if you go with Mac OS or anything like that, it is not free tier eligible. So be very careful what you are providing here. So come here and say, I want Amazon Linux, free tier eligible. Then go to instance type. Again, instance type is nothing but your CPU. So you can see here, 1 core CPU, 1 GB RAM, but free tier eligible. But if I want to have a better speed, good speed, so I can go with something like this. C5 4x large, 16 core CPU, 32 GB RAM. It will have a cost. How much? $0.068 USD per hour. Okay. And if you're taking Windows, it is $1.416 USD per hour. It is not covered in free tier. So let's go back, look for t2.micro. This is my t2.micro. Then scroll further down. it says you will use a key pair to connect to your instance. Now, what is a key pair? You can think key pair as a password. So you can click on this and say, I want to create a key pair. Now, if you're using a Windows machine, so I'm using a Windows machine. So if you're also using a Windows machine like me, you will come here and say, give a name, Windows KP, and make sure that you're using PPK, putty private key. Okay. If you're using a Mac machine, go with PEP. So go with PPK because I'm using a Windows machine. I'm going with PPK. Create a key pair. Now the same thing gets downloaded here. It will get downloaded here. You have to simply come and choose it. Done. Next is network. What kind of network are you interested in? So I will go with the default VPC or the default network. And here you can come down and say, I need an existing security group. Security group, if I simply come here and say security group, it is a firewall. It is an antivirus which will stop the bad traffic and allow the good traffic to go inside. Something like this. So firewall, it is allowing the port 80 and 443, and it is not allowing the port which I have not opened. So it is going to dump or stop some traffic and allow some traffic. So this is my security group. If you're using the default security group, you will have to make some changes, which I will tell you later. Then last, it is talking about the storage. How much hard disk you need? There is a disclaimer here which says if you go beyond 30 GB, it will be chargeable. But if you stay within 30 GB, it's not chargeable. So I take 8 GB only. How many instances you want? I say only one. You go ahead and launch. So if you have done everything correct, you will see the launch log. It is success. If you go back to instance, you will see your instance is up and running. But a minute or two it will take to spin it up and give it to you. Now, the question is, how will you connect to this machine? So to connect to this machine, you will need a software called Putty. There are many other softwares, MobaXterm, Git Bash, but I will be using Putty. So you can come here and say, I want to download Putty. Click on this. A software called Putty dot something something will get downloaded. Just double click and next. It will get installed. Once it is installed, you will come back to your start menu and you will say Putty. Go for Putty app, not Putty gen, Putty app, and a screen like this will open. It says, tell me your host name or IP address. So I will go back to instance. Here I can see this Amazon Linux server, which I had brought up. And this is the public IP. Don't go with private IP. Go with public IP. Take this public IP. Come and put it here. This is my public IP. Then if you see the font size is a bit slow, a bit less. So you can say appearance, click on appearance. Go here, it is 10. Make it a little bit big. So change 16. Okay. Then SSH, auth, browse. And this is what I created, right? Windows KP. Double click on this and open it up. Now this is how it should connect. And it says login. Who is your default user? So I know that my default user is EC2 minus user. Enter, and you will be able to log in. And this is how you have logged in. Now there is a very easy way of doing it. You can simply click on this, and here there is a connect button. Click on this connect. Go to EC2 instance connect and simply come here and say connect. It will connect. But here the problem is it did not authenticate you. Nowhere it told that give me your username, password and all. So this is not the right way. And many companies, they block this channel of communicating. If you are using a Mac OS or a Apple machine, click on this SSH client, open your terminal. In the terminal, go where your key is present, do a chmod and then run this command. If you're using Mac, this is only for Mac users. And here you should create a PEM key. It will not work with PPK. So make sure that when you're creating the instance, you create a PEM key for that. Okay. Once you're connected, you can do whatever you want. I missed one small thing here. When I came here, I changed the security group. So go to security. Here you will find your security group. Change this. Click. And here You have to come to inbound and you have to edit your inbound rule. You have to do something like this. Scroll down, say I want to add a rule and say I want to add SSH. So port 22 will open and say anywhere from IPv4 and you add this. Save the rule. Mine is already done, so I don't want to do it again. Let's see. Save the rule. So you will save it like this. Once you save, you will be able to connect. So what am I expecting from you? So I'm expecting that these prerequisites is what you will take care, and you will be coming tomorrow with a AWS account with a putty installed so that you can start from the place where I have left tomorrow. Yes, left today. Now I'll open it for questions. Anybody having any questions? So please go ahead. Now, a few questions like course curriculum and all, the coordinators will share it with you if you do not have it, and timings and all will remain same. Any questions? Please go ahead.
Sir.
Yeah.
Yeah. I recently went through interview and they asked about not only Terraform, but they asked about the Terra grant as well. So do
Terra
you
grant
cover?
we can cover. That's a very small topic. We can
Okay.
cover.
Okay. Sound good, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, Vinay.
Yeah.
So what are the AWS services you are covering as part of Terraform? Because as we have many services like S3, R53, VPC, load balancers, right?
Yeah.
You should be able to launch each and every service with respect to the.
See, if you go here, go to services, there are 300 plus services. Okay. Out of this, there will be 20 to 30 services which are very widely used.
Yes.
We will be talking about that only. Moreover, I will teach you where to find the actual code. Okay. So it is not, see, when you say that I'm learning Python. So Python has, let me say, 1,000 commands. Can you learn all the commands? No. But you know when to use what. That kind of learning is what I'm going to give you. Obviously, we will create some standard EC2 resources. Like if I create a CI/CD pipeline, a EKS pipeline, EKS cluster. So I will teach you how these things are done. But it is not possible for anyone to cover all the 300 services. 300 plus services are there. If I remember, 362 services are there in AWS. So
no, I'm just expecting from this course.
The basic ones, the major ones, the basic ones will be covered here.
Okay, apart from Terraform, because Terraform has one curriculum, so it should integrate with all the AWS services, right? So which are we have main services like S3, R50, how to use.
Yes, so this all will be taught to you. So there is something called Terraform provider. The moment you install Terraform provider, you can integrate everything together. Means all the services of AWS can be integrated together.
Because I know how to manually launch the each and service like load balancer.
Manually, we are not talking about. I'm talking about the automated way via Terraform script.
Yes, yeah, that's what I want.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
hello,
just one question.
Yeah.
So, as part of DevOps, what will be covered in Terraform?
This is only for Terraform. So Terraform services, Terraform modules, and using Terraform modules, Terraform script. How can you create a CI/CD pipeline on AWS? How can you create a EKS cluster on AWS? So these components will be covered.
Okay.
Hello. Hi, Vikas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This course is covered that automation also, right? By using Python or something.
No. I am not doing Python here. No, it will be not in this content. I will ask the coordinator to share the content. He will let you know what all is there.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Hi, Vikas. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, so Vikas, I have the content in front of me, like as you told from the coordinator. This is advanced Terraform with real-time scenarios, which you have given the title, right? Like provisioning of AWS infrastructure with Terraform, some HashiCorp language basics, and all that attributes out. So it means that the basic part it won't cover. It will cover only the advanced part.
No. See, when we teach in a batch, okay, there will be a mix of people. Few people who will know few basics, few people who doesn't have any knowledge. So we don't start from the 4th floor